Okay, there we go. That worked out nicely. I'm a little bit frazzled today. There's never enough time sometimes, you know. You get rocking and rolling, then things just get a little hairy sometimes, don't they? Speaking about hair, right? I've got to make an appointment with my beautician today. So, I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off. So today you get my natural curl. How about that? If you're joining me today, say hello. The week has definitely flown by, hasn't it? That's the truth. I don't even have pants on, so don't tell anyone. All right. Today we're going to just kind of talk about a little bit of mindset. And we have to have mindset before action. That's definitely something I have learned over the years the hard way, it seems like. If I don't sit down and, hey, Kelly, how are you? If I don't sit down and really map things out, it never goes well, right? You just can't fly by the seat of your pants in this business. That's the truth, isn't it? And today I'm also going to start at the end. I'm going to start my 101 ways to make money in real estate. And every week, every Friday, I'm going to talk about 2 little tips, tricks, techniques, suggestions, whatever you want to call it, right? I did this last summer. I think it was the Mamas group or something, the real estate mother, group of ladies that's huge, and it's mothers. I can't think of the name of the group today, but I did put a post out in this larger group, and I said, the name of the book is 101 Ways to Make Money in Real Estate. What would you name the chapters? Okay. So I actually did come up with 101 chapter ideas from that post. And I'm going to challenge myself to take each one of these chapter titles and give you a tip based on it. So it's going to be fun because a lot of these chapter titles are a little vague. All right. So we did have a good property management workshop this week, and those lives will be up in the group, the Get It Done workshop group, till probably this afternoon. And then you'll be able to just go into your Kajabi platform and be able to watch your replays there. But I hope everybody got a lot out of that workshop. We really dug deep into setting something up, getting the infrastructure set up, getting your tools in place. And we explored tools and lead generation, everything. So it was an excellent workshop. And of course, our next workshop in February, let's circle back around. I've had a lot of requests to circle back around and do social media, right? And Facebook again, because we did that in September, and it was a great workshop, but it was so much information. I mean, it was overwhelming, right? Because we did a whole month-long workshop and we broke it all down week by week. We did Facebook groups, we did targeted ads, we did our email list, and we did nurturing with handwritten notes. Okay, so it was a great workshop. But we're going to break it down and go 2.0, right? And go a little bit deeper. So we're going to start with the social media, Facebook, marketing, and groups in February. That will be our February workshop. So if you need some help learning how to create your own marketing on Facebook. I hate to see agents spend money on these, either virtual assistants that are far away from your business, right? Or companies, they just don't know your business. They don't know your avatar. They're creating very generic marketing pieces that are probably falling flat, right? So if you feel like your Facebook efforts have been falling flat recently because maybe you've hired some outside sources to do that for you, I'm going to encourage you to learn how to do that yourself this year. You don't have to pay anybody to do that. Okay. Once you get the basis of the structure down and your ad manager, and of course, the first thing you have to do is actually have your ad manager and business manager set up correctly. That's first and foremost, because if you don't have that done, you're not going to have access to all of the features that Facebook offers in terms of marketing products. Okay. You won't be able to even probably run a video view ad. Okay. You just are limited to still shots and that kind of stuff. Okay. So if you have not already done that, if you have not already done your business manager setup, I encourage you to do that. And if you need help, let me know. Okay. So February, we're going to be diving deep into Facebook. And this is kind of a 2.0. If you were in the September workshop, this is going to be a little bit of a deeper dive. Okay. We're just going to kind of take one topic that week and dive deeper with that, probably ads and groups. Okay. For Facebook, because I think that's what everybody really needs to kind of get themselves up and running this year. All right. I want to encourage everyone to get themselves up and running quickly so that you have a very robust spring market. All right. Now, if our spring market falls flat, you can anticipate the rest of the year to be a little bit of a struggle if you're staying the course and working only with buyers and sellers. Okay. I want you to really start thinking outside the box, because you're going to have to. All right. This is where the mindset has got to come in first. I want you to really sit down with yourself and think about what direction you would like to take your business, how you would like to see your business function this year. Okay. How much physical activity do you want to have in your business versus how virtual? Like I say, 101 ways to make money in real estate. And let me tell you, that property management workshop was a great workshop if you wanted to look for ways to make your business more hands-off, more virtual, so that maybe you can free up some of your time and do a little bit more of what you want to do this year. Maybe spend some more time with the kids this summer, maybe do a little bit more traveling with your spouse. You know what I'm saying? So you have to lay groundwork in advance for all of that. And your mindset has to shift if you're going to shift your business. Okay. So I want you to keep that in mind. All right. As we progress. Now, let me just bring this up. 101 ways to make money in real estate. Here we go. I'm going to start this little challenge right now. Chapter 1. All right. Let's see what we can make out of this. Chapter 1 on my list of 101 chapter titles, right? We're writing a book this year. Okay. You're writing a book with me. So let's do it this year. I'm going to write this book and I'm going to record all of my ideas as we progress through these chapter titles. Okay. So the number 1 on the list was to gain the trust and respect of your sphere, and you'll always have work. Now, gotta agree with that, right? Some of these things that you're going to hear in this series are going to be so obvious to you, but then you're going to look at yourself in the mirror and say, why aren't I doing that? Okay. How come I don't think about that? Right? So these are the things I want to bring up to your attention, and hopefully you'll get an idea sparked. You'll get some direction. You'll find a nugget each week to improve your business. Okay. Now, if you have not already read the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, I definitely want to encourage you to read that book this week. Okay. Because this is the concept that we're going to be living by this year with this challenge that we have, this year-long challenge. Okay. If you can improve your business by 1%, 1%, one nugget each week to do something different with your business, I want you to visualize what your business could become. Okay? So in terms of this chapter, gain the trust and respect of your sphere, and you'll always have work. That is absolutely true. Okay? For years, I mean decades, I have worked very diligently to gain the respect of my sphere of influence. I give more than I receive. And that's the joy of this business, is when you have the ability to give more than you take. Okay. I counsel first-time home buyers. I counsel senior citizens. I work with probate. I work with distressed properties. When you help someone through something like that in their life, you gain their respect. Okay. And then you've got to be able to maintain that respect by maintaining the relationship. Okay. That's really what all of this boils down to, is, doesn't it? Is maintaining the relationship. And I think that that's what agents overlook if they're getting in this business. They don't have the tools to maintain a digital relationship for a decade. Okay. You have to think in terms of a decade. If you're buying leads from someone, for example, and you're buying that data, it's raw data at that point, any way you slice it. You've got to figure out a way to gain that raw data's trust and respect. And you do that by having systems and a funnel in place that moves them down your pipeline, from raw data to your social media, to your email list, to your website, right, to your calls. Okay. And when you connect with them, that's when you have your opportunity to build your relationships. Okay. All right. So number one, if you learn how to gain the respect and keep your sphere of influence touched, right? Touched multiple times a year, that's where you'll always have work. I mean, if I'm slow, I'm slow. Ain't nothing gonna change that. I have such a strong relationship with my sphere of influence, and I know the rhythm of my market. So I know when it's slow in the dead of summer that I don't panic, because I expect it. Okay. And my sphere of influence, they're either doing something or they're not. If they're doing anything, they're doing it with me. I have that much confidence in my relationships. Okay. And that's the kind of relationship you need to have with your sphere of influence as well. Okay. All right. Now, chapter number 2 is when all else fails, the bar down the street is hiring. Okay. Now, like I said, some of these chapter topics or chapter names are going to be a little fun, I think. But let's unpack this. If all else fails, the bar down the street is hiring. Now, I'm not suggesting you go and get a job at a bar unless that's something you enjoy doing. But I am suggesting to get yourself out into the public. Okay. That's kind of what this could be twisted into, right? Get yourself out into the public. Now, when we were in building mode, absolutely, I knew for a while there, I was hitting a certain bar in Sanford that was in downtown Sanford, the next town over from me, because that's where my attorney was. Okay. So when I picked the brain of my attorney, where do attorneys hang out? Right? Where do attorneys hang out on a Friday at 4:00? Right? And he told me the bar that all of his buddies go to, right? They literally migrate from downtown Sanford to the waterfront bar, right? Hang out where you want to meet people, all right? It doesn't have to be a bar. It doesn't. But you should be hanging out somewhere that you can expand and build, an atmosphere around what you're doing. If you want it to be a restaurant, have it be a restaurant. If you're going to frequent that restaurant, right, you're going to know that waitress. You're going to know her life. You're going to know, she's going to know what you drink on a regular basis, what you eat, what you're doing there, that you are there to meet clients. Okay. Work this situation to your advantage. All right. And get out and meet people. Okay. Doesn't have to be a bar, but like I said, for a while there, it was lucrative to go to the bar on Friday afternoon where our local attorneys hung out, because we developed relationships, and if that was the avatar that you wanted to go for, you're going to have to go where they graze. Let's put it that way. You know what I mean? If you want to hunt, you have to go where where your prey is grazing, if that makes sense. Okay. So that was the best I could come up for this particular title, but it did dawn on me that, hey, we did kind of do that a little bit. So sure. That's one way to make money in real estate, is to get out and just network in your community. Okay. All right. Any other comments? Here we go. Very exciting. Yes. Yes. You've been hanging around me a long time, haven't you, Kelly? It's always been my philosophy, 101 ways to make money in real estate. You cannot limit yourself. I mean, don't limit yourself to just thinking that this is all about working with buyers, or this is all about working with sellers to list property, because it's not. It's just not. Okay. And when you have, an opportunity to really expand your mind and plug into something that's going to inspire you to go in different directions. There's so many different directions that you could take with real estate. Okay. So hang around with me this year, every Friday at 11. We're going to go down my list. I literally have a list, I'm telling you, of all of my chapter titles here. And it's going to be a challenge to come up with something that's going to relate to some of this. I'm looking at the list now, but it'll be challenging. It'll be fun. And I think we'll have a great product at the end. Okay. Any other questions? Anything you want to say? Any shout outs? Give me a shout out if you've got something good going on this week. If you've gotten up and running and you've started to do business, this is already the 13th of the month, right? My philosophy is, if you don't get that stuff set up in December so that you rock and roll, you're going to look around and it's going to be the 10th, the 15th, the 30th of the January, and you haven't done anything yet. Okay. So give me a shout out if you've already got some business up and running. I want to hear about it. Okay. What if you changed hiring to open? Yeah. I like that. Right? When all else fails, the bar down the street is open. Yep. Because you might need it. It's okay. You might need it. Oh God. The time I spent in the bars when I was young and up and coming in this business. I started my career with a company called Fleet Finance and Mortgage Inc. And I think I started when I was probably about 19 or 20, and I ended up being the youngest manager in that corporation, and worked my way up, got my broker license. And I was a mortgage broker for about 17 years. And, it's no different. Okay. It's no different. The things that you need to do to generate business is all relationship based. It truly, truly is. Okay. So make sure you've got the tools in place that allow you to do that and keep your relationships moving forward, right? You've got to be able to nurture a relationship for at least a decade. Okay, how you do that? How do you do that? Tell me, all right? How do you do that? I think I think it fits more with your thoughts on networking. Yeah, we have a different market this year. How should our marketing be different? Well, honestly, you're going to want to know your what's happening in your market. Okay, each market is going to be different. I'll explain my market. For example, I'm in a blue collar community. I am located 30 miles in between Daytona Beach and 30 miles in between Orlando. So I'm in a little sleepy community, okay, of first-time home buyers primarily. Our pricing has always been more affordable than the larger cities. So this is where first-time home buyers migrate to, okay? So for my particular market, I'm not focusing on first-time home buyers. I cannot afford to spend money targeting first-time home buyers because they have been literally priced out of the market in my market. Okay. So that's going to be something that I'm going to have to shift for myself. So what am I looking at? All right. In my community, a lot of that is going to be distressed listings. That's what's going to happen here. Okay. I'm going to start focusing. Of course, I have already been focusing on distressed marketing, but it'll be a wave, that'll come. Okay. So depending on what your market is, let's see, Aggie. So is that what you're saying? You have an agricultural market? Is that what you're dealing with? Markets are going to be different. If you have, for example, I'm assuming maybe this person has an agricultural market. What are the stressors in that market? What is going to stress those sales? Okay. Is it, a typo. Okay. I gotcha. Okay. Stop. Home buyers for the same reason a few years ago. Exactly. It's just, it's not going to be lucrative, to pursue that avatar. I'm focused more, like I said, I'm prompting myself for the distressed market, and I do probate. I put some marketing out for probates. I probably need to focus on that a little bit more. I haven't. I've just been teasing with that. But a lot of my listings will come from my database, my email list. I have an email list of 2,000. I have a CRM of a little over 1,000. I have housing groups with close to 15,000 people in my social media and my housing groups, between my 3 housing groups. Okay. So with those housing groups, I really get a pulse on my market through those housing groups. Not only do I see what other agents are producing and doing, but I can tell just by the activity level in my housing groups what's happening out there with the consumer. I really can. I have seen it, flood with people where I was welcoming in 75 or 100 new members a week, and then slower periods where I'm only welcoming 20 or 30 new members a week. Okay. So I can see that happening just by watching the pulse of my housing groups. Okay. I've learned, though, that buyers who weren't shopping the past year or two aren't fazed by 6%. That's a good point. Yep. They don't know any different. And, that is the truth. That is the truth. They just don't know any different, and it is what it is to them. They haven't been watching the real estate market, so they don't know if the prices are particularly inflated. You know what I'm saying? So they're coming in naive. That's the truth. And that's okay. I bought my first house. I paid 12.5% for a VA loan in 1985. You know what I'm saying? So I am a firm believer that I don't care what the market is doing. There is opportunity in every single market because you put a roof over people's heads. It's a necessity. It has to happen. Okay. What they're going to pay the piper for to do that is not in your control. They still have to have a roof over their head, and even at 12.5%, I made out well owning that property. Okay. Because in the wake of inflation, prices are going to still be higher. They're still going to go even higher after it's all done. When they start bringing the interest rates down again, right, to make it more affordable again, what goes up comes down. They manipulate the market using the interest rates all the time. Okay. So when they start pressuring and bringing interest rates back down, do you think that prices are going to come down? They're not. Okay. Oh, it's more affordable. Prices are going to go up. When the interest rates come down, prices are going to continue to escalate because there's going to be a flurry, because there's going to be supply and demand again. There's supply and demand always, but it shifts. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be more buyers, so there's going to be higher prices. Okay. When the market shifts again, right? Time to sell real estate as an investment they can live in. Yeah. I mean, there's a huge shift. There's a huge shift for people buying short-term rentals. I should put that on my list, right? Absolutely. 101 ways to make money in real estate is with short-term rentals. Okay. Vacation rentals. There's always going to be a call for that. Always. There will be. People who have money will always travel. So there you have it. There's a little niche, that's a little bonus for today. All right. So anything else? That's a good point. That is a good point, that they weren't fazed by the 6%. Yeah. I had a buyer actually, though, that, we've been working with them for a couple weeks, got them pre-qualified. They're qualified up to 315. That's a huge number for our buyers. We just don't have the income levels in our community to really support that. And I don't know what they were thinking of or what they were talking to with their mortgage broker. But once we got, underway and we started making offers, and, I insisted that their lender give them a good faith estimate to ensure that they were well aware of how much that payment was going to be. They freaked out. On the payment, so I'm going to have a little talk with them, but it is what it is. You have to purchase within your means, obviously, but still purchase. If that means bringing that price point down a little bit for right now to make it affordable, that's what you got to do. Okay. All right. So that's what we're going to have that conversation with that buyer today. All right. Anything else? Tax advantages. Yes. Tax advantages. Okay. So there we have it. The 2 points that we talked about today. 2 chapters is gain the trust and respect of your sphere, and you'll always have work. I always have work. Always. Okay. And then when all else fails, the bar down the street is hiring. Go hang out in the bar, pass out your business cards. I'm telling you, a bar is just the community hub sometimes if you find the right one. I was in Atlanta one time. My sister-in-law had a condo there. We had to go for some medical treatment for Jake's eye, and she was a resident at Emory University up there in Atlanta. And, when it came time to sell her condo there, and she asked us to find a referral for her, we went to the local bar. And we asked the bartender, who's your favorite realtor? And he was excited. He whipped out 3 cards. He knew 3 realtors. He had them behind the bar, and he said, this guy's the best. And that's it. That's all I had to do, was go to the local bar and ask for a referral. So make sure your local bartender has a few of your business cards behind the bar. Okay? I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.